After the age of 60, something shifts. Life slows just enough for us to truly notice the beauty in simple moments. Quiet morning light, a grandchild's laughter, the peace of not rushing. We're no longer building for the future, we're living it. And every choice we make, especially about time, energy, and money, feels more important than ever. But sometimes, without realizing it, we cling to habits that once served us, but now weigh us down. Habits that drain our savings. Habits that steal our peace. Habits that make our golden years feel heavier than they need to be. So today, I want to speak woman to woman about spending traps that often sneak in after 60. Not to judge, but to gently invite reflection. Because you deserve a life that feels light, free, and all yours. If any of these rings true, know this, you're not alone. Every wise woman I know is still learning and growing, and that is something to celebrate. So take a deep breath, pour a cup of tea, and let's have a heart-to-heart about the small choices that can change everything. 1. The illusion of designer labels. Let's talk about something many of us have fallen for: designer clothes. For years, many of us believed elegance was something you wore, that a famous label meant you were worth more. We bought dresses, handbags, shoes, and for a while it made sense. At work, family events, gatherings, looking polished made us feel strong. Meet Carol, 68, in rural Pennsylvania. She loved fashion. Chanel, Tory Burch, Nordstrom. Her closet was full. Each morning, she picked her outfit with care, matching scarves and earrings. But after retirement, life slowed. One morning, Carol looked in the mirror and asked, "Who am I dressing for now?" She was baking with grandchildren, gardening, volunteering. None of that needed $300 shoes. What she offered was her warmth and presence. Now, she wears simple, timeless clothes and says her favorite thing to wear is her smile. Here's the truth. Real elegance is inside. It's in the way you make someone feel. In your voice when you tell a story. In your eyes when a grandchild arrives. You don't need a designer label to prove your worth. You already are. So next time you feel drawn to something flashy or expensive, pause. Ask yourself if it adds joy or just cost. You might find a sense of freedom in choosing comfort and authenticity over status. 2. The pressure to upgrade technology. Now let's talk tech. Phones, tablets, smartwatches, new models come out yearly promising faster speeds and better cameras. And it's tempting. The ads say we're missing out. Meet Linda, 72, in Oregon. She's independent and tech-savvy. When the latest phone came out, she spent over $1,000 hoping it would simplify life. Instead, it felt confusing. The buttons were different. Menus changed. She missed calls. All she wanted was to FaceTime her daughter and share new grandbaby photos. Her old phone could do that fine. Technology should serve us, not stress us. And here's the truth. Newer doesn't always mean better, especially when your device still meets your needs. Linda returned the new phone and stuck with her old one. Now she feels more at ease, using it to connect, not chase updates. So if you feel pressure to upgrade, pause. Ask, what do I actually use this for? If it still works, that might be enough. You're not behind. You're wise. And wisdom recognizes need versus want. 3. The weight of credit card interest. Let's talk about a hidden burden. Credit card interest. It starts as convenience, dinner out, a gift, a small repair. But over time, balances grow, and before you know it, you're paying hundreds or thousands in interest on things you no longer have. Meet Mary, 70, in Florida. She always managed money carefully, but after her husband passed, she leaned on her credit card. A little shopping, sending gifts, fixing the house. Nothing big, but it added up. One day, She realized she paid over $9,000 in interest over 2 years. Her heart sank. It could have covered medical bills, home repairs, or a trip with her sister. She took action. She called the bank, set up a payment plan, sold unused items, and most importantly, forgave herself. Learning is living. Debt is more than numbers. It's a feeling that keeps you up at night. It can feel heavy, anxious, even shameful, but it doesn't define you. You're not alone. There is help, tools, and ways forward. The less you owe, the lighter you feel, and the more joy you can carry. You deserve that joy, and you can have it. 4. The silent brain of unused subscriptions. Here's a sneaky money trap: automatic subscriptions. Companies count on us forgetting, signing up for a free trial and never canceling. Over time, $9 here and $15 there adds up. Meet Susan, 66, in Texas. During pandemic isolation, she signed up for Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, fitness apps. It felt comforting. Options, control. Months later, she realized she was only watching reruns and a cooking show, things she could get free elsewhere. The rest were unused, yet she paid $90 a month, over $1,000 a year. That hit hard. What could she have done with that money? Weekend trips, savings, dinners? So she went through her statements, canceled all but one streaming service, and now rotates subscriptions based on what she actually uses. She found an even better source. Her library card gave her free access to movies through apps like Canopy. No fees, just stories that moved her. We're told we need more to feel happy. But the truth is, when you aren't overwhelmed, you can truly enjoy what you have. If you haven't reviewed your subscriptions, now might be the time. You could feel lighter, not just from saving money, but from choosing what truly matters. 5. The cost of chasing the jackpot. Every Wednesday and Saturday night, millions hope. But lottery tickets are not a retirement plan. They're a dream we pay for long after we forget the cost. Meet Dolores, 65, in Ohio. She played Powerball weekly, $10 on payday or $20 for big jackpots. It wasn't just money, it was hope. Paying off a mortgage, helping kids, traveling. After 5 years, she added up her spending, over $5,000, not counting scratch-offs. What did she have? A drawer full of losing tickets and a little regret. She realized she'd been buying hope, not results. So she made a new plan. Each week, instead of spending on tickets, she deposited that amount into a jar labeled Future Joy. She used it for a pottery class, a day trip, and gifts for grandkids. Real things that brought real joy. Here's the truth no one tells us. We're already rich in love, wisdom, and experience. That wealth no ticket can give. If you're still buying tickets, pause. Ask, what do I really want? Is there another way to make that dream come true? Because the life you want isn't built on luck. It's built one wise choice at a time. 6. The true cost of food delivery convenience. There's no denying the ease of food delivery. Just a few taps on your phone, and dinner arrives at your door. No chopping, no dishes, just quick comfort. But over time, that comfort can come with a heavy cost, not just to your wallet, but to your health, your emotions, and your sense of connection. Karen, a 63-year-old from Arizona, found herself turning to food delivery more and more after losing her husband. At first, it felt like a lifesaver. Cooking for one felt too quiet, too lonely, so she ordered in. Thai food, burgers, pasta, 4 or 5 times a week. But a year later, at a routine checkup, her doctor shared some concerns. Her blood pressure was climbing, her weight had gone up, and she was feeling constantly tired, emotionally and physically. Karen took a hard look at her bank statements. In just 1 year, she had spent over $3,000 on delivery, not on fancy meals, but on food that was high in salt, low in nutrients, and usually eaten alone in front of the TV. That moment shifted everything. she made a small promise to herself: 3 home-cooked meals a week. Nothing fancy, just real food. Things like soup, baked veggies, grilled chicken. Simple meals made with care. And a beautiful thing happened. She began to enjoy the process. The smell of garlic in the pan, the calm rhythm of chopping, the comfort of setting the table, even if it was just for herself. She even invited her neighbor over once a week for lunch. They shared stories, swapped recipes, and found laughter in the little things. Her energy lifted. So did her mood. Delivery can be helpful. It's okay to lean on it sometimes. But when it becomes the norm, we miss something deeper. The nourishment of preparing something with love, even if it's just for us. Cooking is about more than food. It's about memory, rhythm, and care. It's about saying to yourself, I'm worth the effort, and you are. Always. 7. The guilt of unused exercise equipment. We start with good intentions, a New Year's resolution, a milestone birthday, a little inner voice that says, this time I'll really stick to it. So we buy the equipment, the treadmill, the weights, maybe even the sleek bike that costs as much as a small car. But then life steps in. Let me tell you about Denise. She's 69 and lives in a quiet town in North Carolina. Last spring, she bought a top-of-the-line elliptical. It looked perfect in her guest room, full of promise. For 2 weeks, she used it daily. Then came a busy week, a sore back, a bit of travel. And just like that, it sat untouched. Every time she walked past it, Denise felt a little pang of guilt, not just about the money, but about what she thought it said about her, that she quit, that she failed. But Denise isn't alone. So many women buy equipment thinking it'll fix their motivation, and when it doesn't, we blame ourselves. Here's the truth. It was never about the machine. Your body doesn't need fancy gadgets to be strong. It needs movement, kind, consistent, joyful movement. A walk in the park, stretching on the back porch, dancing while you make breakfast. Denise finally gave herself permission to let go. She sold the elliptical to a neighbor who would use it. Then, she joined a local walking group that met twice a week. Just friends, sneakers, and a little sunshine. And guess what? She moves more now. She laughs more. She feels better. Not because she spent money, but because she made space for something that worked for her. If there's a dusty treadmill in your house, let me say this gently. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You are human. And your body deserves movement that feels good, not guilt that gathers dust. 8. The empty promise of overpriced courses. There's something so tempting about personal growth programs. They promise clarity, joy, purpose, maybe even a new you. And sometimes they're worth it. But sometimes they just aren't. Phyllis, age 71 from Washington, understands this all too well. After retiring from a 40-year career in education, she found her days strangely quiet. The structure was gone. The feeling of helping others faded. Then she saw an online ad, a coaching program that promised to help you find your next chapter. It was over $4,000. She thought, this could be what I need. She showed up to Zoom calls. She filled out reflection worksheets. She joined online chats. But deep down, it felt a bit hollow. When the program ended, Phyllis flipped through her notes and realized something surprising. The answers she was searching for? She already knew them. The lessons they offered, she had lived them deeply, for decades. And that's when it clicked. She didn't need to pay someone to tell her who she was. She already knew. Phyllis shifted course. She joined a book club at the library. She began volunteering with a local tutoring program. She started mentoring a young teacher just starting out. That's when she felt her fire return. Not because of an online course, but because she poured her heart into something real. Real growth isn't sold. It's lived. It comes from connection, contribution, and trusting your own voice. If you're searching, pause. You're not broken. You don't need fixing. You're in motion. And the best classroom you'll ever learn from is the life you've already led. 9. The hidden cost of buying a brand new car. Let's talk about a major money trap that sneaks up quietly. Buying a brand new car. Sure, it's exciting, shiny, smells like new beginnings. But is it worth it? Eleanor, 75, from Wisconsin, had always driven used cars. But when her trusty sedan gave out, she thought, I've earned something new. She went to the dealership and drove off in a brand new SUV. Shiny, high-tech, full of bells and whistles, and loaded with a hefty monthly payment. For a while, she loved it. But within a year, the car had already lost over 30% of its value. Thousands gone. Meanwhile, her budget felt tighter. She cut back on little joys. No more weekend getaways, fewer outings with friends. The car looked great, but it was costing her more than she realized. Eventually, Eleanor traded it in for a certified pre-owned vehicle. Gently used, reliable, still under warranty. Her payments dropped by half. She used the savings to finally take a train trip through the mountains, something she'd dreamed of for years. That trip gave her more happiness than the SUV ever could. Here's the truth. We're not here to impress anymore. We're here to live smart. Peace of mind matters more than a car's features. If you're car shopping, pause. Ask yourself what truly matters. Safety, reliability, comfort, and freedom from financial stress. There are so many ways to get where you're going without sacrificing what makes life sweet. Because in the end, the memories you make on the journey matter more than the vehicle you drive to get there. You made it to the end, and I want to thank you for being here, for taking this time to reflect, to breathe, and to ask, is there something I'm ready to release? Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means making space for ease, for clarity, for joy, for the things that really feed your soul. Maybe you saw yourself in Karen or Denise or Eleanor. Maybe their stories felt familiar. If so, I want you to know something. You are not alone. Every wise woman I know has changed paths, dropped old habits, or made choices she later reconsidered. That's not a flaw, it's growth. This chapter of life isn't about showing off or keeping up. It's about peace, purpose, and freedom. It's about doing what feels true for you. So if you're holding on to a spending habit, a little guilt, or even a belief that no longer fits, maybe today's the day to say, I'm ready to let that go. You deserve a lighter heart, a freer mind, and a life filled with moments that matter. If something in this video touched you, I'd love to hear it. Was there a moment that sparked something in you? Share it in the comments, because your story could give someone else the courage they need. And if this message brought you even a little comfort or clarity, please pass it on. Send it to a sister, a neighbor, a friend, someone who might need a little encouragement today. Until we meet again, take gentle care of yourself. Spend with intention. Live with joy. And always remember, the best investment you'll ever make is the one you make in yourself.